COVID-19 has transformed global migration. For countries that send migrants, countries that host migrants, and countries that do both, this poses a set of complex development challenges. The IWMI research project unpacks how the pandemic has affected migrants in its most recent policy paper, which is titled Between a Rock and a Hard Place: Early Experience of Migration Challenges under the COVID-19 Pandemic. Early in the pandemic, as borders closed, lockdowns shut people at home, transportation stopped, economies declined, jobs were lost. The IWMI team began to research how these sudden dramatic changes were affecting migrants. Researchers in each country spoke with people such as migrants and government authorities and reviewed breaking news stories about how COVID-19 was affecting migrants. Some migrants have had to return home, losing their jobs and incomes. They're no longer able to send home money to support their families, dealing with an abrupt return without resources to fall back on. Before the pandemic, some families invested heavily and accumulated large debts to send family members abroad. For migrants who return home empty-handed, this can prove to be a heavy burden. Some migrants are stuck in their host countries, or they've chosen to stay and look for work despite the pandemic. Their situation is tenuous, and if they are informal migrants without an official work contract, they may be at risk of deportation. Migrant workers may face more stigma because of COVID-19. There may be a new health nationalism rising, as governments view migrants as foreign others capable of spreading disease, and informal workers living in crowded communities may face stigma if they breach lockdown and social distancing rules. So what happens now? Perhaps a new normal. A new normal with less movement, less global transport, more technology use, and more migrants deciding to stay at home. But the IWMI team finds that, despite the pandemic, people in many low and middle-income economies are eager to work abroad or in cities. The logistics of migration are, well, often impossible, with empty roads, blocked transportation, shut borders, and strict lockdowns. But the economic logic of migration persists. Better jobs exist away from home, and migrants can use moving away as a tool to make more money, support their families, and gain more social and economic status. Most likely, as long as the reasons for migration remain, so will migrants.